Hi, my name is Shelley Green and I'm the Executive Director for the Alzheimer's Society of Oxford. And I'm really excited to tell you about a new role, a volunteer role that we have for the Walk for Alzheimer's this year, and it's called Ask Me Volunteer. So I am displaying the vest that you have the opportunity to get to wear at the walk, and I'll show you the back. So it says Ask Me. So it's really nice and bright so that our walkers can see that we have volunteers that they can approach to ask questions or if they need help in any way. So I'm just going to go over some of the areas that we're asking, actually all of the areas that we're asking you to be involved in. It's not that difficult, and there's always people around like our staff that can help you with any questions that you don't know how to answer. But the idea really is just having enough volunteers at the walk that our walkers don't have to look for somebody to ask, because you're going to be visible with these nice vests on. So thank you so much for your help with our walk. There's no way we could do what we do without our volunteers, and we're excited to see you at the walks coming up very soon. So there are 7 areas that we're asking our Ask Me volunteers to be involved in. And the first one is really, you are like our ambassadors. So we're wanting to ask you to welcome people, thank them for coming to the walk and for supporting the work of the Alzheimer's Society. When people come to the walk, we really want them to have a great experience. We want them to feel like they've been recognized and appreciated. And as an Ask Me volunteer, you can play that role, which is so important. We also want you to help directing people to the registration table. So in Tillsonburg, there's going to be a couple of very specific locations that will have 2 of our Ask Me volunteers situated, and we'll show you on the day of the walk. And in Woodstock, we're going to have 1 Ask Me volunteer for each one of our 12 money table stations. And what we're asking you to do is to watch people coming into the walk and to direct them into the line that will be created in front of the money table station that you will be responsible for. And the primary thing that we want to do is to ask you to help the traffic to flow. So as walkers are coming in at the beginning of the walk, we know that it can be busy and we don't want people to get stuck in one line. This is particularly for the Woodstock walk. Tillsonburg registration is different than in Woodstock. But for the Woodstock walk, we don't want people to get bottlenecked in just a few of the money table stations. So you can help by directing people to go to another money table station where it's not as busy. The other thing that you're going to help us with is to make sure that we don't have in the lineup behind every money table station in Woodstock, that we don't have one person with the welcomer and then the next person in line thinking that, oh, there's 2 volunteers, so I'm just going to go over to the other volunteer. So every money table station has 2 volunteers, a welcomer and a counter. And at each of those stations, there really should only be 1 walker at a time. The only exception to that is if somebody comes with their family. So sometimes, if you've been involved with the walk, you'll know sometimes families will come and they'll put all of their names as the participant walker or as the walker on the one pledge sheet. If they are sort of registering as a family, then they can all be standing up at the money table station together with, with the welcomer and counter at the money table station. But otherwise, there should only be 1 walker at a money table station at a time. If you see that people are trying to go to register with the counter, please just gently go up to that walker and ask them to come back into line and just explain that there can only be 1 walker at a time being registered per station. In Tillsonburg, we're going to have a Ask Me volunteer on the floor going up to the stage so that you can just help direct people and welcome them. And then we'll have 1 Ask Me volunteer that will be up on the stage, and you'll be watching to see which station is available so that you can direct the next walker to go over to that particular money table station. It's also important to note that it doesn't matter when you're on a team, and most people that are on a team are going to hopefully know that they're on a team. They don't have to register at the same station. They can go to any one of the money table stations and register there. We'll have binders that will have a team sheet per team. And so if I, for example, if I was on a team, I could register at money counting station number 1, and my other team member could go to station number 4. It does not matter because all of that information will be collated at the end of the walk. So when people are asking you that, tell them you don't have to go to the same money station. You can go to different stations. It does not matter. So that's the second area that we're going to ask you help with, is just that direction of the money table to make sure that things are going smoothly, both for the walker and also for the volunteers that are at our money table. And really the main purpose for the Ask Me volunteers is to help the walk run that much more smoothly for the walkers, for our volunteers, and for our staff. And we so appreciate your help in all of these areas. The third area is answering questions. So you're called our Ask Me volunteers, so hopefully people are going to come and ask you questions. And there's just a few areas that I wanted to cover with you in this training video. So if you don't know the answer to a question, you can either try to find me, and I will have a colored balloon attached to my belt so you can find me above the crowds. Or you can also see if it's a really urgent issue, particularly if it's related to the money raised or incentive prizes. Go and speak to the money table supervisor. So in Tillsonburg, Glenn Harrop is our money table supervisor, and in Woodstock it will be Lisa Green and Kathy Hill. So you could go and bring those specific questions related to money raised, incentives. Those kinds of questions should go to them. But if it's an overall kind of walk question that needs to be answered on that day, then please try to find me. And for any ideas that our walkers come up with, because this is a great way for us to know how we can improve our event, please go and talk to the money table supervisor. We're going to be providing a pad of paper and a pen for them to jot down these ideas that you're going to hear that we may not hear. So that's a great help to us as well, to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our walkers and always looking at how we can improve the walk experience for those that come to support the Alzheimer's Society. Just some general information, that's things that you may be asked. We do not open the doors of our walk until 20 minutes before the event. So in Tillsonburg, the doors will open at 9:40. In Woodstock, the doors will open at 1:40. This is to allow our volunteers to get all situated and trained without the distractions of having walkers come into the venue. And also for our walkers, when that door is open, we are ready to go. And so when they come in, we really want them to know that we're prepared, we're organized, and we're really excited to welcome them to the event. If we're still getting ready, if we're still giving instructions, we really can't give that impression. So we're going to have some volunteers that will be outside of the doors, who will be keeping the walkers back in the hallway, and we'll have volunteers on the inside of the venue that will open up the doors upon my instruction. Walkers can hand in their pledge sheets at any time during the event. Oftentimes walkers will be quite anxious to hand them in, because one thing, they don't want to carry it around during the walk, but secondly, because they may be concerned about the incentive prizes. So right on the pledge sheets, we do state that there are limited quantities for t-shirts and for bears. And so that would be the reason why people may not want to start to walk around. So you can encourage, if the lines are quite long, you can encourage people to start walking and just to keep an eye on the line and to come back when it gets less busy. But if they say, you know what, no, I'd like to get my pledge sheet and money handed in, then that's fine. Just in Woodstock, direct them to a line that's not as busy, or in Tillsonburg, just allow them to line up to get up on the stage where our money tables will be. Excuse me. Another thing to note is that pets are not allowed at the walk. We haven't had anybody bring a pet for a while, but that's something that you need to know. And if they were to ask if they could bring their pet next year, just explain that we did have a situation that was a bit risky, a dog that was a bit aggressive. Nothing fortunately happened, but after that, we realized that it was not a good decision to have pets at the event unless they are actually an assistive dog providing assistance to the person for sight or for other reasons. Of course, they would be allowed, but pets are not allowed at the walk. Walkers can walk as individuals, or they can walk as teams. And so you're going to see people wearing similar or the same shirts, or other ways to identify them as a team. This is a great thing to thank people for, because if they're coming looking the same, it's nice to acknowledge the effort that they've gone to put a team together and to create that spirit at our walk, because it's fantastic. And not only is it a way to just raise enthusiasm at the walk, but it also is a fantastic way for raising funds, and our teams are a huge part of our big success. So we do sometimes have, as I mentioned before, sometimes a couple will come and they'll just have one pledge sheet with both of their names as the walkers, or a family will come and have all their names on the one pledge sheet as the walkers. there can sometimes be questions raised about incentives. So if you're an Ask Me well, you are an Ask Me volunteer, that's why you're getting this video. But if you get asked that question about, oh, should we be doing separate pledge sheets because I put all my family's names on this pledge sheet, rather than getting into the details yourself, what I would suggest that you do is to go and find the money table supervisor and ask that person to come over and chat with either the couple or the family. The money table supervisors have all the information related to incentives and how that all works. So I think that's the most effective and probably the easiest way to address that concern. All of the activities at the walk are complimentary. So we want to make sure that our walkers know that, because we don't want them to be hesitant to go and ask for a complimentary massage. They may think they have to pay money. The food is complimentary. Everything is, except for the items for sale at our display table, or otherwise called education table. And the other thing is the raffle tickets. So we have raffle tickets this year for sale, 1 for $5 and 3 for $10. It's called a Pampered Package, and it includes a night's stay at the Seven Gables Inn in Tillsonburg, a $100 gift certificate to Cardio Plus Spa in Tillsonburg, and a $75 gift certificate to Nectar, it's called the Nectar something in Tillsonburg. Sorry, the details are at the walk, but that's something that you can encourage people to do as well. So those are the only 2 reasons that they would need money, is for the raffle draw. Oh yeah, and silent auction. Can't forget about that, because the silent auction is a big part of our walk, and it's a great activity. It's fun for people like myself who love silent auctions. So that's where they would be spending money, but otherwise all the other activities are complimentary. Incentive items are not for sale. So we do get asked this. Most years people will ask if they can buy a t-shirt or a bear. The reason for that, if people challenge you on that, is because if we sold them, they wouldn't be the same incentive. So the only way you can receive a t-shirt or a bear at the walk or anytime is if you earn it. So it's $100 raised for a t-shirt, it's $300 for a bear, and that money has to be received at the walk, either through online donations or on their pledge sheet. It's not money that's been pledged, it's money that they have in hand and are handing in at the walk, or online donations that have already been made. You may find some of our walkers struggle with getting their 600 Club sash on properly. We're also going to be identifying the top individual for each walk from last year with a sash, as well as the top teams from both walks with a sash. If you see people struggling, if you could just assist them, that would be fantastic. We'd like them to lay flat, so they would be pinned on the shoulder, and they would come across the chest and come across the back. It's pinned at the bottom where the sash overlaps. So you can just assist somebody or to provide verbal direction as to how to get that done. That would be really helpful. And in Tillsonburg, all of our 600 Club members, which we won't know until the day of the walk, of course, until they hand in their pledges and money that they've raised, they're all invited to come to a 600 Club luncheon, which will directly follow the walk that day. This is the first time we've ever done this, and so it's really important that they are encouraged and reminded to come. So if you see a 600 Club sash, you might want to say to them, thank you for raising so much money. Again, what a great way to recognize our walkers. But then also just to remind them, again, it's only the Tillsonburg walk. Are you planning to go to the luncheon, which is going to be at 12:30 after today's walk? They will have all received a card with their sash at the money table once they've handed in their pledge sheet and money, and it will indicate the details of that luncheon. So you don't have to know the details, but we just want you to encourage them to go, because we'd love to see all of them there to celebrate their success. The fourth area is just to encourage people to participate. So when you get to the walk, just take a good look around the facility, because you'll see signage and you'll see the different activities that are going on. So if you see a child or a parent with a child, really encourage that child to get involved in the kids' activities. Encourage them to get their face painted. When you see people walking around, ask them, have you had a massage yet? Oh, you need to go have a massage. Encourage them to enjoy the food. Just anything that you can think of that's going on, just encourage them to get involved, because sometimes people just need that encouragement, and then will really enjoy the activity. Again, the silent auction, ask them, have you checked out the great items on our silent auction? And just start talking to the different walkers. That will help them to feel really welcomed and encouraged. Also, we have our fitness instructor in Tillsonburg and the Zumba instructor in Woodstock. So it's great to encourage people to try that out as well. I know some people are shy, they need some encouragement, and of course it's just optional. We don't want people to feel pressured, but you can encourage people to do that. And then, as I said, the raffle tickets are on sale both in Tillsonburg and Woodstock. And I got that name wrong before. It's Nectar Coffee and Bar. And all of those locations are in Tillsonburg, but even in Woodstock, I think those people in Woodstock, it's not far to go to Tillsonburg, and it would be a great way to have a pampered experience at the 3 of those businesses in Tillsonburg. The 5th area that we're asking assistance from our Ask Me volunteers is to help in the closing of the silent auction. So you will be receiving an attachment in your email of the instructions that you need to review. Not a difficult job, but an important one to make sure that the silent auction is closed efficiently, quickly, and so that our winning bidders can get their winning bid sheets and pay for their items and then come back and pick up the item or items that they've been successful in bidding on. The 6th area is help directing the successful bidders to the silent auction cash out table. So again, if you're going to be playing this role, you will know that. And it's just really notifying people and directing them where to go. Just to help so that they're not looking around wondering what to do. And then the 7th area, which is so important, our welcome and our thank you is so very important, but our goodbye and thank you is equally as important. And maybe even more so because it's the last thing they're going to experience before they leave. And we really want them to feel how grateful we are that they took the time to fundraise, that they took the time to come to the event, and that they've really thoughtfully thought about people who are living with dementia in Oxford County and care enough to come. So whether you're specifically asked to be at the exit doors to thank people and ask them if they had a great time and encourage them to come back next year, wherever you are in the hall, if you are seeing people leaving, please, as an Ask Me volunteer, you're very well identified with these vests. So people aren't going to wonder why you're saying thank you. They're going to know you're involved with the walk as a volunteer. Please say thank you so much for coming today. We hope you've had a great time, and we really hope to see you again next year. If you have any questions at all about your role as an Ask Me volunteer, we will be at the walk providing an overview for you again, but this video can be watched several times. And so that's the thought with the video, is that you can watch it again and again if you want to or if you need to. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us here at the Alzheimer's Society. You can give us a call at 519-421-2466, and you can ask to speak with myself, or you can ask to speak with Henriette or Kathy or Tanya, and any one of us can answer the questions that you would have about your role as an Ask Me volunteer. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and we are so excited to see you at our Walk for Alzheimer's, and we are really looking forward to accomplishing the goal of raising $200,000 this year. Thanks, everybody.